You know, Hannibal the HATER may be Anita Sarkeesian's biggest fan.
And I can't stress enough that in that regard, I will fuck you over for that one of these days if it's the last thing I ever do.
The hate is swelling in you now.
Just motherfucker, I hate you, Phil.
Let the hate flow through you.
You don't. I will. God damn it. I fucking son of a bitch. I can't even talk.
And boy, does he have an inflated opinion of himself. Comically inflated.
Of these individuals that would fall into these categories, there's really nothing to making them look absurd. They're not strong opponents. They're not opponents that can withstand the kind of rigorous intellectual sparring that many of us are used to in fields outside of YouTube. But on here, there's nothing to it. Why do I do it? It keeps my mental fitness up.
Wow, Hannibal, thanks for sharing with us just how great your intellect is and how your opponents on YouTube just can't keep up because of all that rigorous intellectual sparring that you do. You must come out with some pretty hard-hitting arguments.
Because I don't have time for a lot of useless nonsense and bickering, I'm just going to ask this flat out. Silver Soul 07, if you really have such great ideas in terms of your anarchism, then you will have an answer to the following scenario. A 9.2 earthquake has just hit California, striking in the epicenter of the San Andreas Fault along Los Angeles and on into the San Bernardino Valley. There are currently no essential services. Everything has fallen apart. There are probably hundreds of thousands of casualties, and your main goal is to ship in 300 million tons of food a day with 300 million tons of water a day. How do you do it? You've got your orders.
Now, Hannibal, the intellectual sparer's mathematics should raise an eyebrow instantly, because 300 million tons of food. Really? There are only 300 or so million Americans in total. Why would you want to bring in 1 ton of food for every single American in America per day when only the Los Angeles region has been affected? I mean, damn, your average American only eats about 1 ton of food per year. So he wants to import enough food to feed America for 1 whole year. And he wants to do that per day. And that's his debunk for anarchism. Well, let's try a slightly different analysis on this. The volume of the Empire State Building is about 1 million cubic meters. And food has about the same density as water, which clocks in at about 1 ton per cubic meter. So to fill the Empire State Building full of food would require about 1 million tons of food. So he wants to import enough food into the LA area to build 300 skyscrapers made of solid food per day because of an earthquake that has only affected the Los Angeles region. Yes, Hannibal, arguments of this caliber do not show that anarchism is wrong. They do not show that your intellectual sparring has made you a debating genius. They show that you're one of those special morons who doesn't know they're a moron.
You have a lot of people on here who attempt to be bullies.
And like I said, one of these days, I am going to find a way to fuck you over for what you did, one way or the other. If it's the last fucking thing I do, okay?
Either they were bullied and now they found a chance to bully someone else, or they've always been bullies and they just keep on doing it.
I am hostile, and I am spoiling for a fucking fight. Okay, Phil? I don't give a fuck who you are, Phil. I will knock your dick in the dirt if I have to.
You combine that with the fact that they're usually stupid, then you add in arrogance, Dunning-Kruger effect in full effect.
Casualties, and your main goal is to ship in 300 million tons of food a day with 300 million tons of water a day. How do you do it?
You add all this in and you get people who wander around YouTube, the internet, life, convinced of their own superiority, never doubting for 1 minute that they are special. They're not opponents that can withstand the kind of rigorous intellectual sparring that many of us are used to in fields outside of YouTube. But on here, there's nothing to it. Why do I do it? It keeps my mental fitness up. And that they have the superior abilities, and they will always rise above if only the man will not stop keeping them down. Shit like this, just those ridiculous conspiratorial bullshit that you've heard.
The only reason you're even still relevant is because you've managed to find a little niche of lunatics that are called the MRA and everybody associated with them in Gamergate. You found this little niche of lunatics and angry, tired, ridiculous, completely self-obsessed assholes just like you.
Don't get me wrong, there are plenty of good arguments against anarchism. As my buddy says, maybe one of the more comical ones is, the first thing he's going to do in an anarchy is kill all of the anarchists. Checkmate anarchists. But let me tell you what's not a convincing argument in any arena, Hannibal. And that's giving a word-for-word description of yourself and then calling people who act like that morons.
There is always ways to approach conversations, no matter what they are. And most of these dickheads don't do that. And everyone here right now knows exactly what I'm talking about. How many of you have ever just had somebody comment on a video you've posted, or they comment back to you on something else, and instantaneously you feel it, the arrogance and the stupidity, and you can practically hear the echoes in the empty head of the individual who left the comment.